Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. We're in the Mothership Studio 22. We're going to download and upload all the information that you need. Ah, my God. I tell you what, it is Wednesday. It is hump day all day long. And it almost feels like the weekend to me, Brandon. It's starting to get to that point.
Living for the weekend, man. Hump day. We're almost there. A few more days.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not.
No,
there's still things we got to do. Friday night, I'm going to be in Yorktown, Texas. Come over there to 5D, hang out with us. There's room for about 400 of our closest friends, so get tickets now. WatchChad.com is where all the fun stuff is. And then next week, I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas, Thursday through Saturday night at the Looney Bin, and then going to be finishing out the year in St. Cloud, Florida, and at Porky's. So that's right. Come hang out with us. You can get information at the website. Listen, guys, right now we got a promo code, don't we? ChadOnBlaze.com if you want to get your unvaxxed sperm donor shirt.
Chad25.
Chad25, 25% off. That's a freaking deal. That shirt's only for the bold. And you better be able to deliver, too. Like, don't wear. So I walked through the think tank today, and the girls stopped me. They're like, oh, my God, that shirt is so funny. And I said, there's only one word on this shirt that's true, or that's not true, and that's sperm. I don't have any of that. Mine's all stamped up and clamped and stapled, and there's barbed wire and landmines. There's no swimmers getting out, but I am an unvaxxed donor.
All right, we're creating scarcity, so to raise the price artificially.
Oh, well, anyway, I blame the urologist. Listen, guys. You got to be living under a rock at this point in time if you have not started drinking or at least heard of Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer. This is the truth. This is the only beer that's in my house. It's the only beer that I'll allow in my house at this point because I don't trust anybody anymore. This stuff popped off right about the time they decided to put trannies on Bud Light. And so our good buddy Seth Weathers, he's the guy who's founded this thing. He makes it. He's here with us. What's up?
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable after the sperm donor shirt that y'all put me on kind of a casting couch here. I don't know what all's going on over here.
There's a lot that's gone on that couch.
I am showering when I get home.
Yeah. Most of the stuff that happens on that couch is with Sarah Gonzalez's nasty ass. So, bro, Seth, when you are around, it's a nonstop party. We went out the other night to dinner, and Sarah went with us. And
we were home by 8 p.m.
We were home by 8 o'clock, sober as the freaking judge, dude. And let me just say that was Monday night. Last night, Tuesday night, I was in bed at 7:30.
That's fair.
8 o'clock nights wear me out.
Yeah, same.
CJ calls me on the phone. We were headed back over to the hotel after dinner, and CJ called me on the phone, and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm leaving dinner. She said, who'd you have dinner with? I said, Seth and his guy Dragos and Sarah. And she goes, Seth's in town? I was like, yeah. She goes, where are y'all going next?
I
plead the fifth. Just plead the fifth. We didn't do a thing. Tell me about Ultra Right beer. Conservative Dad's Ultra Right, 100% woke-free American beer. When you first came out with this, I believe in everything you do because you're a master marketer. You really are. You've had a lot of brands we'll talk about. But when I saw this thing, I was like, I wonder if people are going to take to it. Like, is it going to be gimmicky? Is it going to be like you bought one and it's like, look at what I got. It sits on the shelf.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. Tell me where this came from and how it's doing.
So obviously, when Bud Light came out with the tranny fluid can, we said I was watching this like, God, I wish I knew how to make beer because this would be a great time to do something. Because we've got to stop giving money to companies that hate us. And look, we can't my house is filled with items made in China, so we can't do it with everything. But I said, God, I wish I knew how to make beer because this would be a great opportunity to make a statement and a lifelong brand. And fun fact, I still don't know how to make beer, but I have people that do now. And so we came out after that. We did a video, Dragos and I put together, and it went mega viral. And so it led us, at first, no store was going to take something called Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer, but we created enough brand ID from it, or I say we, the people demanded enough of it that we actually were able to. So we're going into stores now in multiple states. We're in Georgia, Arkansas, West Virginia, going into Colorado and a bunch of other states, pretty much a new state every month, and actually going into stores. So it's kind of the impossible, like we're the fastest growing new beer brand in America this year. Wow. And getting shelf space in stores is very difficult.
Impossible.
These brands spend decades trying to do it.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it pretty quickly just because of so much demand from people out there. And so it's been pretty wild ride. And we've only been in business 7 months.
Yeah. You sent me, I think, a 12-pack initially.
Yep.
And I was, it was back in the summertime. It was warm weather because I'm a pool person. I like to, when I get home, I go sit in the pool. I got my little spot. I lay my towel out on the edge, and I sit there with my phone. I get caught up on emails. I drink my beer, my whiskey, whatever, tequila. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try Seth's beer and see what it's all about. I think I did a little promo of it. I remember that. Did a little story thing. And I was like, that was my first time trying the beer. And I was like, because I'll be honest with everybody. People who know me know this. I'm not a huge beer drinker. But when I would walk into a bar, my go-to beer was just a Bud Light.
Yeah.
Just give me a Bud Light. Simple, light beer. Yeah. Easy, rolls off the tongue. I found myself a couple of times walking in places almost saying that. Yep. But I've stayed true. I've stayed strong. But I tried that beer, and it was a legit response. I was like, it's a good beer.
Yeah. I think a lot of people thought, like, this is going to be a novelty. It's a one-time thing. They just poured any kind of beer they could into this can. Who knows if it's going to be good, it's going to be a novelty. But I knew it had to be a great beer for this to have a long-lasting impact as a company. And again, what we're doing with the company is, all these other companies, they give away millions of dollars to all these organizations that hate us.
Yeah.
And so I said, we're going to do the opposite. So we give money. We've given away almost $150,000 this year to different organizations.
That's awesome.
The 1776 Project Pack is one that's I'm really focused on. They go in and they flip school boards. I'm not big on giving to PACs because most of them waste money. This is not one of those. They're actually going in and flipping, the lunatics that we see on these school boards. And by the way, they're in your red state because no one pays attention to school board races. And they're flipping those race districts, which is very impactful. It's the most bang for the buck you can get is flipping a school board race. And these people are in charge of having to do with the curriculum that's going in front of our kids. And you see, I'm sure you've talked about it on the show, some of the stuff that's out there is wild. So we're excited to actually put our money back into things that are important to us. And, we've given to pro-life causes. There's no other beer brand out there that's going to be willing to, associate and do the things that we're doing. And I think it's time that more companies actually do that.
And I know I've seen people with a little bit of pushback. You can't start a company or a brand. Anything entrepreneurial is going to have pushback. People are going to complain about it. Oh, I can't afford this beer. That's an expensive six-pack. It's a startup.
It is, and it's coming down in price. And I will say, for anyone that thinks our beer is expensive, hit me up afterwards and let me know how cheap you can make beer in 7 months. And if you've got a great deal, I'm happy to work with you on it. But it is obviously look. We didn't have outside funding. It's all been self-funded just through the orders. We did it all as a pre-order. And again, we're growing at a really rapid rate. And, we're bringing the price down all the time. It's a lot cheaper in stores now.
Well, I know from my perspective, trying to run businesses, the ramp-up time is there's some pain process for everybody, including the consumer. You've been trying to get it in these other states, get it in these stores, get it on these shelves, which, as we've already said, that's an impossible task.
Yep.
I mean, it's just impossible. I've got a lot of friends who are trying to get their beer on shelves.
Yep.
It's miraculous.
It kind of is. I look back on it, and I'm like, this is not even possible. Everyone said, hey, they'll never get the beer made. Well, then they'll never sell any. Well, no distributor will ever pick them up. Yeah. Well, okay, they'll never be in stores. We've done all of those things. Yeah.
My buddy Bill Clevenger down there where I live, he got the recipe and the rights to a beer out of Pennsylvania, the Duquesne beer, and he's trying to get it, reading it, because it's old family. They just quit making it. And I just know what he's going through, and it's a solid beer. It's a really good beer. And it's just a miraculous thing to happen. So I know that sometimes you see people say, well, I ordered it, but there's a delay in the shipping. And it's like, chill.
Yeah. Well,
this is bigger than beer is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
What you're doing is bigger than just beer.
Well, we're a movement that is a beer brand. I want to make the best beer possible, but we're also a movement company.
Right.
And again, it's the people out there that have supported this that's made any of that even possible.
Yeah.
And, it's a great chance to stand up. Like, look, you can not drink one specific beer and drink a different one. It's not going to change your life. Like some of these things. And so I understand we can't, every product we have can't be, I'm wearing Nikes right now.
Yes,
ashamed to say.
Nobody would have noticed that, but now the comment section is going to be.
I'll call myself out. It's
whatever.
Right. But, I'll
Chinese, dude.
But we can make exceptions, in some areas, and that's what I'm trying to focus on.
It's building a business, and it's parallel economy, which is
100%.
Is what you're doing, is what we're all trying to do. The thing I appreciate like with any entrepreneur, any entertainer, anybody that's out there, I always look at the amount of hustle they've got.
Yeah.
You're in town. I'm not going to tell why, But you're in town working on a secret project that's about to pop off that's going to be huge. And just the sheer fact that you're doing what you're doing and the way you're doing it demonstrates the hustle that you have, because you've now crisscrossed the country doing this project.
Yes, I have.
And because Sarah actually let me know that you were coming into town about the project. And then you texted me, and I was like, he's coming all the way to Dallas to do this. I mean, that's impressive. Because you live in Georgia.
Yep, in Georgia. Dragos and I have crisscrossed the nation. I think we put about, I forget what it was, 4,000 miles on the car in like a 10-day period. I think we've been on the road like 20-something days this month.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a very exciting thing that we're coming out with. It'll be next week. So
that's cool.
I'm excited about that.
That's cool. And be on the lookout for that. And how cool is it to travel around the country with a dude named Dragos?
I know. Everybody thinks I'm going to show up with the Rocky guy,
Yeah, you're coming out with like a Rocky IV deal, Ivan Drago. But I mean, how cool is that? You got a dude from the Eastern Bloc. He can take care of business.
Yeah, well, they've seen communism up close and personal, and it's funny. Dragos be talking like, you can do. It's like, no, we've seen this before. This is a no for us.
We were at dinner the other
interested.
night. We were at dinner the other night, and I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Romania," and I said, "Okay." He goes, "That's why I hate commies. This is why I hate communism." And I was like, "This is a solid dude."
Yep,
he speaks from experience. Before we get into some other stuff? What's the best website? The one-stop shop for everything?
ultrarightbeer.com.
ultrarightbeer.com.
Yep.
And I mean, it's sitting here.
Yeah, you got
it's
to just
here.
keep yourself hydrated.
It's not. I popped one of these open on Sarah's show Monday, and it spewed all over the place because I've been shaking it up. But it's a solid beer. And you know what I like in graphics and in marketing and design, when there's what we call Easter eggs. You just kind of hide things either in the can or whatever. And so I was looking at this thing. It says, "Eat steak, lift weights, be uncensorable, drink a little beer." Conservative.
That's a solid life philosophy right there. And we actually have a new can coming out. Our new can will have a QR code on it.
Yeah.
That you can scan, and it will take you to Scott Pressler's organization and get people registered to vote.
Yeah.
And I'm going to probably botch the numbers, and Scott will have to correct me, but I want to say it's about 10% of rural would-be conservative voters are not even registered.
Yeah.
And 10% of rural voters that are not registered, you can change. Look at some of these elections. They're so damn close.
Yeah.
Georgia, Michigan at times, different places. You can change an entire election, statewide election outcome by getting more rural conservative voters actually out to the polls.
Yeah, people don't want to hear that. That's a call to action. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that's
true.
Fair. But you know what? You can at least drink a beer and help overturn a school board race.
Scott Pressler, it's funny. I had Scott on my show before I was on the Blaze. First time I ever had Scott on, I think it was about 2016. When I was with another network, and Scott came on, and he was like, it was audio only. And he's like, I did my hair. I did, like, because he's got that really long hair.
He's got
like,
Jesus hair.
He's like, I did my hair and everything. Is this for video? I was like, no. No, it's audio only.
I did my hair for this show,
we've
too.
Evolved. God to have that hair. God to have that hair. Between you, Yakub Buyans, and all these guys around here, good Lord, I don't know. I'm low T. I'm low T. A lot of stuff to get into. I want to get your take on some things. Before we do, got to go to a break. Everybody deals with pain from time to time. I'm dealing with a little bit of it right now. Got a little more of that gout in the ankle right here. I don't know. It could be because Seth is in town. But there's a few guarantees in life along with death and taxes. One of them is pain. When it happens, a lot of times you sustain it and deal with it and just try to move forward. But it's hard to when you're always in pain. Sometimes it comes back day after day, month after month, until it fills your world, and all you ever talk about is your pain. Well, you need some joy back in your life, and here's how you can get it. The good news is it doesn't have to be that way. Relief Factor is a great way to reduce pain, which is caused mostly by inflammation in the joints. And when you take Relief Factor as directed, it could absolutely change your life. Now, it's not a drug, but it is developed by doctors. It's all natural, and it will reduce inflammation in your body. About 70% of the people who take it keep on taking it. They keep on ordering it month after month because they found it works, and I bet it will work for you. So if you're living with pain, try the 3-week quick start. It's only $19.95. It's a trial pack. Go over to relieffactor.com, or if you just want to talk to somebody on the phone and you're lonely, call them. 800-4-RELIEF. Relieffactor.com. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Now, you've been on the show before, but it was on Skype. This is your first time in studio. And when you came on the show, you were dealing with, there's a huge marketing company out there, email marketing deal called Klaviyo.
Oh, I would love to talk about those bastards.
Let's talk about them, because I've used Klaviyo. I mean, anybody that's in the apparel business or you are selling stuff online, they tend to use Klaviyo because that's your email marketing. Yep. They banned you.
It's one of the, if not the largest, I guess probably behind MailChimp size-wise, but it's close up there. It's one of the largest email marketing providers in the world. And yes, they banned us for hate content.
And this was before the beer.
This is.
You were selling like wrapping paper and swimsuits.
Something like that, and T-shirts, just all conservative-based stuff, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
And they banned us, and they said it was hate marketing. Of course, they would never tell us what hate marketing. We were spending, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm going to say close to $4,000 a month with them, and they just pulled the plug.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, so we ended up with a great email marketing company since then called Sendlane, like Sendlane.
Yeah.
And I was not paid to say that, but they are amazing, and we went with them. You know, it's a lot to try to take your email and switch somewhere else, and these email companies know that. So if they ban you, and you've got a great open rate because you're not spamming people, you're actually sending email to people that want it, you get through. Unless you're conservative with Gmail, but that's another topic. But they ban you. You have to go start up. It's like starting brand new sending stuff. And so a lot of your stuff immediately starts going to spam. So it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars at a minimum doing that. And again, it's just back to, you know, the beer and other things that if we can make our own products, I'm all for it, because these companies, they come in, especially with big tech too, they have so much control. And unfortunately, conservatives, we ceded so much power to big tech, to these dweebs in California that are, it was hate content. And they're real quick to pull the hate content thing. And they have a lot of control over us that I don't think a lot of people realize, because you don't know, because you can't hear about it because you're banned.
I love those people out there that troll the internet and call folks like you and me grifters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what? Well, we're not swindling anybody.
I'm selling a product that has a name or something that you don't like. Grifter.
You don't like me, but I'm not swindling people. I'm not twisting anybody's arm.
The biggest grifter in America is Bud Light, I think.
True.
That's just what I've heard. I don't know.
True. I'll buy in.
I mean, they're putting tranny fluid in a can. I don't know if that's legal. You know, we've had some different FDA regulations I've seen, but I've never seen that allowed.
Well, we're business people, and I think a lot of folks don't realize what goes into selling T-shirts and selling hats and stuff. Because you a couple of Christmases ago, I know that everything that CJ wrapped had your wrapping paper on it. And then by summer, she was wearing your swimsuits. And I was like, Seth Weathers is a piece of shit, man. Because he makes these swimsuits that purposefully just really go down the girl's ass crack. And I say that. I think CJ's got an ass that just sucks it right in. Now, I should say that. I'll never get out of this hole.
Oh, God.
Anyway, but I'm like, this guy makes these swimsuits that automatically these girls take pictures and send them back to Seth.
That may be just a byproduct of this. It's completely unrelated.
Bullshit. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. He sat down with the marketing team and said, I want to see giblets. And I can't blame you.
It's a great swimsuit. You can get your Conservative Dad's Ultra Right swimsuit on our website at ultraraybeer.com. Looks great.
There is a Let's Go Brandon swimsuit hanging on the back of my master bathroom door right now. Because when CJ comes over, she puts on one of those, she gets in the pool, and there it is.
I love it.
It's hanging right there. I don't even bother to move it because it reminds me to pray for Seth and his heathen heart. But, dude, great marketing. It's phenomenal. And I don't promote other people's marketing much simply because it's like, it's just another T-shirt. But what you do is next level because you jump into products. Because, like with the beer, when it came along, I thought, surely he had this all queued up. Like he was fixing to do a beer anyway. And then the Anheuser-Busch thing happened, and it was just like perfect timing, and God parted the clouds and shined on Seth Weathers. You know?
Well, I think it was shining on the American people that wanted good, woke-free American beer is what happened there.
It's like Benjamin Franklin said, beer is proof that God loves us and wants us happy. So let's get into some clips. I want your take on this deal. Play clip number 1. I haven't seen this. Play clip number 1. All right, here's 4 women cops trying to arrest a man, and he ain't having it. So this is Chicago. This is embarrassing.
This is horrific.
202 Sam.
These girls are doing all they can to arrest this guy.
Another vehicle over the system on the east side of.
This is not a video from Blacked.
This 2213, another car, 95 and ass of 4213.
What was that show, Reno 911?
Yeah,
is that
exactly.
This might be a promo for that.
This looks like a sketch comedy deal. I mean, these girls are doing everything they can.
They're going to have to shoot him.
Tase him. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, sis. And what's funny is, like, he's not even trying to break loose and run.
There.
He's just standing there proving that they can't do it.
This looks like me trying to get my kids to take a shower.
Yeah.
Let's get in.
I mean, just not having it. So now they got him up against the wall.
What the hell? Well, there's an obesity issue involved here as well, I think.
0206 213.
Got him around the throat. Trying to get him down. They got open handcuffs right there. I don't think they did this in the academy. Like, this is not part of the training protocol. Now they're like, you know what? This is embarrassing. Let's zoom out and just get away from this fiasco. The one girl's
taking
winded.
a break. She's taking a break.
Yeah. She's winded. Handcuffs are on the ground. Now he's gone. He's like, all right.
He still got away?
Yeah. Finally, he's like, F it, I'm out. And he runs around the corner. He just runs off there.
That's amazing.
He lives to perp another day. Wow, dude. Chicago, baby.
Well, at least we have standards within the police academy, clearly.
Yeah. Well, they had that clip. I don't know if you saw it or not. They had the clip a couple of weeks ago in Vegas where the naked guy fought off the fat cop.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to have to arrest a naked guy.
I wouldn't want to either.
I'm just going to tase him from afar.
He knocks the cop down who's just fat and just knocks the cop down and then jumps in his truck, turns on the siren and drives off. Vegas, baby. Vegas.
Chad brings this up because unfortunately that was me on a trip to Vegas, and I just want to say I think there's something in the alcohol beyond alcohol.
It was a tall, skinny white dude, reasonably lean. Could have been Seth Weathers. But no, dude, there's no standards anymore. That's the thing, again.
And there's different standards. It's like the military. Women have a different standard physically that they have to meet than men to join the military. How the hell is that real?
Right. And then they're going to lessen the standards to the point where it's like, okay, well, if you can't do the PT, we'll just lessen the requirements on the deal. I was having this conversation with CJ the other day about physical education in schools.
Did she think about joining up?
Dude,
military calling her?
They'd kick her right out.
I don't think she'd make it she wouldn't make it through the recruitment office.
No, she'd come in, she'd be like, oh my God, this looks like so much fun. They'd be like, you got the wrong idea. And she'd be like, I like positive things. I like to have fun everywhere I go. They wouldn't have mimosas on Sunday. That would piss her off. They don't do brunch. She would walk into the mess hall and be like, this is not cute. It's not cute. CJ goes to restaurants on the basis of whether or not the room is cute.
Man, I go based on the size of the steaks they offer.
Exactly.
If it's less than 16-ounce steak, I'm not interested.
Exactly. So like that restaurant we went the other day, that's the first thing I looked at.
Yep.
I was like, the biggest ribeye they got is 16 ounces. I was like, that's not big enough.
No, but it was a solid
steak. And the first
steak.
thing, when our guy Barry walked up to the table, you said, is this the biggest steak you got? Yep.
That's the one I'll take.
Man after my own heart. Man after my own heart. But anyway. Yeah,
we got to get some of Barry's peanut brittle on here. You have
Barry's
a good memory.
Peanut brittle.
That was good.
Peanut brittle. Yeah.
I wish I knew the name of it. I would plug it right now.
I think it was Barry's brittle.
Was it really?
Barry's brittle. Get on there and do a Google search. Our waiter the other night, Barry, nicest guy in the world, had a cool little handlebar mustache. We were at Kenny's Woodfire Grill in Addison, and he comes up and we were like, "Do you want dessert?" And we were like, "No, we're good on that." And he brings out a little bowl of his peanut brittle. I was like, "What's this?" He goes, "It's what I make. It's what I make." And
he's hustling, like you said. I like it.
Yeah, and he brought, and it was legit good.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't break your teeth kind of stuff. Because I'm not a dessert person. I'm not a sweets person. But every now and then I like one bite of something.
Yeah.
I was eating the crumbles out of the bowl.
Yeah, Barry's Peanut Brittle will do it. I hope that's the right name.
It is.
We've given
Barry's Brittle. Yeah. Barry's Brittle. That's what it was. And he brought a little bag out there. I hope he doesn't lose his job at Kenny's.
Yeah, I know. I just thought about that.
Now that we're pimping out
we asked for it, as I recall.
We did. We were like, hey, dude, are you a confectioner? You look like a confectioner.
Yeah, and he was like, I can't bring this up at work. And we're like, you know what? It'll be okay.
He's like, I don't even have any. I don't even have any here. And I was like, Barry, I know you got some contraband back there in that locker, son.
He had a little baggie of it, as I recall.
He's back there next to Hunter's stash. Right. Go back there and get that shiz, man. Golly, so much to get into. All right, let's do this. Listen, for years, Hollywood has been making really crappy stories. What if you saw a story that was not only true and real, but it showed the vulnerability of the character in such a way that it kind of made you feel good about where you are in life and maybe that there's hope. Well, this is a story of Phil Robertson, our good buddy. It's a story called The Blind. It's the true story of the Robertson family. It's now available for purchase on Blaze TV. Maybe you made a mess of your life. Maybe somebody you love is in a dark place, but you feel like there's no hope. Listen, if you know anybody like that or you're like that and you feel like you're beyond redemption, there's always hope. And this is that story. The Blind takes you on the incredible journey through the life of Phil Robertson. It gives you an intimate look into the man behind the legend, the trials, the triumphs, the values that shaped him through the years. And The Blind, it wasn't a Blaze Media production, but since Phil is such a big part of our family here at Blaze TV, we wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to stream it here. You don't have to go to Amazon or any of those places. You can do it through the Blaze. It's not ours, so we can't include it as part of the subscription package, but you can purchase it and stream it here rather than Apple or Amazon. So we wanted to make sure the opportunity was there. You need to do it now while it's available. Don't miss the opportunity to own The Blind, the Phil Robertson story. Blaze TV, buy it today. BlazeTV.com/theblind. You can get it for $19.99 and it's yours. BlazeTV.com/theblind. Get it. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, we talked about that one. I don't know if you know this or not. Xi Jinping was in California last week.
Oh, I missed that. Must have been quite a show.
It was. It was a very communist show. They rolled out the red carpet.
He's probably the freest person in San Francisco.
Yeah, he rolled right through. They cleaned up the streets overnight. And now, after Xi Jinping visits San Francisco, the city is falling back into drug use and homelessness. That's according to a business owner is over there. This is Tony Pankau. Thank you very much. He's a restaurant owner, and he said they cleaned up the people, they cleaned up the streets, they made the city look good and look impressive for the foreigners, for the politicians. Now they've started to come back slowly but surely. In a couple of weeks, the city will be back where it was before. So you can see from that image right there, that's mild compared to some of the things I've seen.
Yeah, that was just one I found searching for 20 minutes on Google Maps.
Yeah. So that's from Google Maps.
Yep.
So that's going in from the satellite image, or just the truck that drives around taking pictures of street views.
Yep.
Sophisticated.
I think I see Don Terrius in the background there, right there.
There's Alex Stein back there going, man, Red Lobster, they hates me, Red Lobster. Yeah. I'm going to set the lobsters free. Time to set the lobsters free. Come on, Don Terrius, my wife's boyfriend. So we said a couple of weeks ago that it was going to take less than a week for that to be right back to that deal. The BLM leader, one of the founders of BLM Rhode Island, Mark Fisher, is endorsing Trump. He said, we're not stupid. Well, you are stupid, but not because your endorsement of Trump. It's just you're stupid because of all the other crap you founded. I could just hear the Democrats and the liberal progressives trying to figure out how to make something racist out of this.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
How do you take a BLM founder endorsing Trump and say, we're going to make sure that this sounds racist?
Well, they're going to call him a sellout for sure.
Uncle Tom.
He does not know what's coming right now.
Yeah, they're going to light his ass up.
Yes.
So the dude's got balls of steel.
Agreed. That's the one good thing. When a black person comes out as conservative, they're forever conservative and they're forever all in because they have burned some bridges.
A lot of bridges.
So they've been through it. They're like, ain't going back. It's over.
But
so there's a solid voter forever.
This guy will have a podcast on Daily Wire before long.
For sure.
Because let me tell you something. There's nothing white conservatives love more than a black person that comes out and even breathes hints at being conservative.
This is correct.
Because so many white conservatives, and I don't give a shit if you get mad at me for saying this, it's the freaking truth. Let me just put the mirror in front of you. White conservatives love to be able to try to show the world they're not racist.
Yep.
And you don't have to prove anything, guys. I don't know if this is a revelation to you or not. You don't have to prove you're not racist. Just don't be racist.
Yep.
No matter how much they call you racist, just don't be racist.
People they've been put, conservatives, especially older conservatives, I feel like they've felt like they've been placed in such a box of, well, conservatives are racist. And then so they're like, oh, no, but look, I love Ben Carson. I even bought the book and got it autographed. It's all okay.
Yeah.
And so then a lot of the liberal black communities can come out, well, he's no longer one of us.
Right.
And you're like, damn. I thought I had it.
I bought a Brandon Tatum t-shirt. I've eaten fried chicken with Terrence Williams. I've had his pancake batter. It's delicious. It's true. It is so true. I got Candace Owens pregnant. That's as anti-racist as it gets.
my
Well,
God.
I call Candace Owens catnip for white men.
I love it, and I love all the people I just mentioned. But not because they're black. Like I posted the mall fight the other day of all these black people just beating the shit out of each other in front of the Apple store, and I was like, they're handing out that bread and water that AOC says they can't get. And they're like, see, this is Chad. He gets up in the morning, pulls his head out of his ass, and tries to figure out what racist stuff he can stir up in his followers. This morning, I posted that video from the Ring camera of the old white lady that keeps coming over to the black guy's house. I don't know if you've seen this video.
No.
She's like, your lights are shining in my house. She's old, and they've called the police and stuff, and the police have said these lights aren't shining in the house. She's like, I can't sleep at night. And finally, he's like, listen, I think you just want somebody to talk to, and you want to maybe visit a little bit, and that's okay. If you just come over, it's the black guy.
This is hilarious.
And it's a sweet video. It's
I was about to say, it sounds like this might have a nice ending.
It's
I
like making
this.
people cry, And he's like, dude, it's like, if you want to come over and just visit, we can visit. And I'll turn the lights off. I'll make sure the lights are off. But anytime you want to come over. And she's like, well, I don't want to upset you. I want you as my neighbor. And I was like, yeah, I posted
They're probably drinking an ultra right beer right now. Hanging out.
Were.
I love that.
Endorsing Trump.
Yeah.
Eating Terrence Williams fried chicken batter.
Look at that. Just bringing the world together.
Yeah, in
That's
a
what we're
Hodge
doing.
Twins t-shirt. But, if you were wondering how it was going in the Bay Area of California, worry not. Oakland has spoken. Oakland City Council demands ceasefire in Gaza. And I know Hamas was sitting around waiting for Oakland City Council to give their endorsement of ceasefire.
This is what happens when you get these woke people that have never faced any difficulty in life.
Ever.
And you get them in a position of quote unquote power. They think their dumbass talking about Gaza is going to affect anything. That's amazing.
Yeah. Resolved that the city of Oakland supports U.S. Congress Resolution H.R. 786 and joins other cities in calling our Congress members to demand an immediate ceasefire, release of all hostages, unrestricted entry of humanitarian assistance into Gaza, restoration of food, water, electricity, medical supplies to Gaza, and the respect for international law, and calls for resolution that protects the security of all innocent civilians. But here's the deal. They didn't bother to mention mass murder. They didn't bother to mention the October 7th invasion of Israel. They basically just demand all these things for Gaza. And
these are serious people, Chad. You need to give them proper respect.
They even quoted the congressional bill, the House Resolution 786. But here's the deal, and this is what somebody said there on the radio in Oakland. They said there will be no Palestinian-Israeli peace with Hamas in power, and that's why this resolution must be amended to acknowledge the atrocities of Hamas and include its removal from power. And that's true. That's true. So, again, we're all for humanitarian aid, but you can't keep Hamas in power. Auto dealers are starting to tell Joe Biden to tap the brakes on unrealistic electric vehicles mandates. They said, the enthusiasm has stalled. That's the way car manufacturers say, we ain't selling shit, Joe.
No, but you drive a Prius, as I would call it. Is
that
right?
I do. I drive.
Yeah.
I've got the Prius truck. It's got the hand crank.
You keep it in the back of the truck bed.
Yeah, it's
just
got the hand crank right there, and you got to go down there and Model T it. And I always tell people, this is still Texas. We may drive a Prius, but we roll the window down and throw the trash out just the same. Yeah, 3,880 automobile dealerships in 50 states collectively selling all major vehicle manufacturing brands called on the federal government to chill. Just chill the freak out. It's like, don't y'all understand we have inventory to sell? Screw the climate. We got last year's stock that's still got to get out of here. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. Contrary to the way the federal government works, people like me, people like Seth, people like these automobile dealerships, we're actually trying to be a for-profit business.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah, federal government don't care about that.
They're doing their best to make it not profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of regulations.
Yeah, they don't care about stuff like that. They're like, hey, you know what? We just print more money.
Yeah, well, and the regulation of the government is really unbelievable on small businesses. And for us, fortunately, I only picked one of the most heavily regulated industries in the world, which is alcohol, or at least in America. But they treat it like, we're making a 4.8% beer, but they treat it like we're making nuclear weapons. Yeah. I got fingerprinted by the FBI to make a beer. That's a true story. It's just the dumbest shit you could ever imagine.
Remind people, I was like, you got ATF, or as Joe Biden calls it, the AFT, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Like they lump your Second Amendment rights regulations in right there with alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heavily regulated.
It really is wild regulation. And unfortunately, I hold some type of ATF license. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But and I'm ashamed of that. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
But it had to be done to get America their next favorite beer.
And if you read it, there's a little card with Seth's picture and his fingerprint, and it says he's not a bootlegger. Not a
All right,
bootlegger.
here's a fun story, actually. So this is, hopefully my grandmother doesn't see this because I think this is like a little bit of a family secret per se or whatever. I really am. She's on Facebook.
Let's get her
good.
email.
No. So my great-grandfather spent 5 years in a federal prison for being what was known as a rum runner.
Okay.
Illegally selling alcohol during Prohibition.
It's a fair trade.
Yeah.
I believe in it.
It was they were the feds were pretty rough on it then too. They just showed up to the house and that was it.
Wow.
They took the family out and they literally put them on the street. Like just show up, everybody. There's no like, well, we're gonna come. You got to turn yourself in, post bond. No, they took my great grandfather. They put the family on the street, and they had to walk up, however many miles to the next neighbor to stay with them for a while. And that was that.
Shit.
The government just took everything. Cars. They took his mom's like jackets. Like I mean, it was just brutal.
Damn.
Yeah. For selling alcohol.
The government bureaucracy has always sucked.
Yeah, they're not your friend.
Well, see, people don't understand. Like with beer too, we got to go to a break. But like, you can't just put that in a box and ship it. You can't take that to the post office and send it.
Right.
You'll go to prison.
Something like
That's
that.
a felony.
The USPS is not big on that. You cannot ship through the Postal Service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Christmas season, don't take a bottle of liquor and send it to Cousin Harry.
But actually, you can do that. Well, actually, you kind of can't. You just don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, I would just not tell them.
And technically, they're supposed
if you're not
to be
selling it.
If you buy alcohol, technically, by the letter of the law, if you ship something over and you receive it, you're supposed to take it to some office and report that you got it.
Yeah,
that is a law.
That sounds like something I would jump right on if someone sent me free whiskey.
Like I got 2 bottles of whiskey from a future sponsor. I got 2 bottles of bourbon the other day. I like the way I do this. I got 2 bottles of bourbon.
Yeah. That seems like some experience there.
2 bottles of bourbon the other day from a future sponsor.
Weigh the same amount?
Yeah.
The bottles of bourbon?
Well, if we're talking about boobs, they never weigh the same. Depends on what arm. Like if you're right-handed, that boob's going to be a little smaller, more muscle. This is just trivial facts that you guys need to pay attention to. But I get that. I didn't go report it. There's nowhere to actually go report it. That's just on the books.
Well, what you should do, actually, I'm familiar with the process. Anytime you get whiskey in the mail like that, just send it to me.
Ship it over.
And I will handle the process
Ship
from there.
It over. Actually, it looks too good in my house. Part of the decor. All right, we're not done. Hang tight. We'll be right back. The national Christmas tree got knocked over by the wind. And speaking of things that are full of wind, Sarah Gonzalez is on the couch. Oh, just go with it. Just go with it. You blow a lot.
Hi, boys.
Woo!
I just came in here to say hi.
Being
You
nice.
asked me to sit down, and now I'm just going to get mistreated.
Can I show people what I saw that they will not see on your show tonight?
What?
You are exposing your midriff.
I am.
There's like you can't see it because of the bar on that microphone, and that's probably good because the Lord doesn't want to see all that.
Honestly,
It looks good.
I knew it wouldn't be visible on my show.
It looks good.
I came in here with midriff shirt showing on earlier, and Chad was pissed.
He didn't like it.
He was not happy at all. Maybe put this on.
I was like, we'll get banned on YouTube. We'll be quicker. We'll go out quicker than Bongino.
Well, what I thought was funny was Chad was surprised that I have abs.
You do have abs.
And he was like, I'm surprised. I'm
I was
like,
like-
what did you think it was down there?
Well, just cushion.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that what it
I don't
looks
know.
like?
I like women to be feminine. If I get in a bed with a woman, there's things I want to be there, things I don't want to be there.
I don't have a six-pack.
And
okay.
you got a perfect belly
I just
for a
you can
woman
just
that's
see
given
it.
birth a couple times.
Yeah.
How has he not been canceled?
You
like
He's
every
probably
day
survived a
on
few
his
cancellations.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I've survived a few myself.
Exactly. It's like I keep trying. It's like I keep trying to see how far we can go. You look good.
Thanks.
It's a shiny jacket. So did you see the story on the I mean, it's just par for the course for this administration. The national Christmas tree. They were supposed to light it up in a couple of days. The wind knocked it down. That was yesterday. It's out. And they say it's unsalvageable.
Just like this
Like the administration.
Like the
Yeah.
administration. If that's not a telltale sign, it's a dead tree that got knocked over by the breeze, and it's unsalvageable.
Hunter was probably under the tree, like doing a crack pipe or some shit, knocked it over, and this is the story they had to go with. How did Christmas tree fall down like that? I don't know.
Man, I'll tell you. And I say that was yesterday. That was last night's news about it possibly being unsalvageable. But Whoopi Goldberg suggests that condemning Hamas and their rape and sexual assault of Israeli women could exacerbate the terror group's fury. We don't want to piss them off.
If there's anyone I want to look to for things, it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
I need to hear her opinions.
Oh, wow. That's good. Be careful. They might turn into a terrorist organization.
Yeah, we don't want to piss off the terrorists.
That's a good point.
Like we like they flew the planes into the buildings, but we don't want to remind anybody.
They may want to kill us next.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
I mean, I don't know what part of they want you dead from the river to the sea. You're not understanding. Whoopies.
This is hoping they'll forget, like maybe we don't talk to them too much about it. They'll forget.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
They, I don't think there's a
Not
lot
like
of
it's
history
their
there.
religion.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, there were people who were calling out women's groups who were saying, we don't understand these women groups out there. Because women's groups, they took their pussy hats off a couple of years ago when they gave Woman of the Year to Bruce Jenner. And they just threw them down in the streets and were like, screw it, we're done. Doesn't work. And so a lot of them are saying these silence from these women groups in the country about rape being used as an act of war in this attack, where they don't understand why it's happening. And so Whoopi said, perhaps the reason they've been silent is for the same reason that you just described. They don't want to exacerbate.
That is one of the dumbest things
I can't imagine
I've
living
ever
in a bubble that much of a bubble.
Yeah.
No. And yet somehow she and a couple others get paid how much money to do that show that I'm shocked anyone watches?
I was about to say, who really watches that?
I don't
Apparently
know. How
a lot
is it
of
still
people.
on?
I guess so. And
'Cause
that's
it's still
scary.
there.
And
It
that's
is.
scary. That is scary. A lot of people watch that. This is the rough part. They're watching it for their news source.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I mean, real story. I mean,
But they're
want
watching
it
it
to-
unironically.
Yes, exactly.
If you want to get your news from Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, that's but talking about idiocy, it's easy to find some. Brandon Johnson, who is the mayor of Chicago, who is far worse than Lori Lightfoot ever dreamed of being, has now blamed right-wing extremism for their migrant crisis plaguing the city.
Great point, Brandon.
Yeah, he said it has to be better coordination. What we have seen is a raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism. Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities, and quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color. So, the color was blue, and the verbiage was sanctuary city.
Yep.
You said you wanted them, so we gave them to you.
We haven't given enough of them, and I appreciate some of the things that they've done. I'm 100% serious. Like when they shipped them to Martha Vineyard, I think they sent like 50 people or something.
Yeah.
Like, Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer will pay for the buses. I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah.
If we want to ship, if someone can arrange the shipping of the illegals to these cities, I would pay for that in a minute.
See, what's funny is when I ran for governor here in the primary, I would go into these forums and stuff, and one of the things that I would consistently say, and trust me when I tell you, no one was offering this idea. I was the first. I would go in there and say, what I want to do is I want to put these illegals on buses and have them led by the Texas Rangers or, whatever, these U.S. Marshals, and take them right to the D.C., take them to New York, take them to Chicago, all these sanctuary cities. And people were like, but isn't that busing them further into the interior of the country? I said, it is. And they're going to the interior of the country no matter what, but we're going to go ahead and there, escort them, open the doors, and here's your new
pick
home.
the city versus them showing up all over the place.
Here's your new home.
The argument about we're getting them further into the country is maybe one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. That has nothing, like they're already going there
They're already
anyway.
going.
And once they've crossed the border, they're not shipping them back because they're near the line.
Yeah.
Like that's just stupid. That's weak Republicans that are afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
That's 100% what that is.
Well, I offered that all across the state of Texas. I would always say that because I would always give my policy and then I would give a radical idea to see if people were paying attention. And people love to push back on the radical ideas. But damn it, if a year later Greg Abbott didn't start doing
Chad,
that
I feel
exact
like this is
thing.
something like you and I should take a couple weeks off and like drive the buses. I feel like this is something we could do.
It'd be a party,
It would be a
dude.
hell of a time.
God, we don't
It'd be
want to
great.
drive it, but we could sit in the
Well,
front
you
and
know what
sing
I'm saying.
mariachi
Yeah,
and
I
drink
don't really
tequila.
mean like physically driving
Yeah.
it, but you know,
We could go and party on the buses and be like, we're going to your new hacienda.
Record the whole thing.
Give them all conservative dads ultra right beer. Maybe they'll
Oh
start
my
voting
gosh.
right by the time we get them there.
That's
We'll
a
be like this.
podcast, man.
So what
I'm
we
down
do,
for this whole thing.
You need to do that.
Need a bus, wrap
but
it.
what we do is we do
shipping.
Spanish-speaking loudspeaker deals, and we indoctrinate them on the ride.
That's what I'm saying. They're drinking ultra right.
Yeah.
They're reading the can. They start lifting weights and eating steak. And
Yeah.
before you know it, they actually might be good voters.
What's the word
'Cause
for
they're
right
voting.
in Spanish?
Huh?
Anybody?
George?
We all look at
I mean, your
George
last
like
name's
George
Gonzalez.
knows.
Like, shouldn't you know this?
I mean, we're like, right de la ultra, right de la mega. They'll get
I
off
like
wearing
this
red
idea.
MAGA hats.
I mean, people watching probably don't know, but I'm already trying to figure out how to make it happen. Dragos is over there like, oh, God, here we go again. Because he knows, I can see his face now. He knows I'm considering it.
100%.
He's looking up buses right now. He's like, well,
100%. But I mean, we just play. Like, if you're missing an opportunity to, I mean, we could teach them, we could assimilate them all the way to New York City.
yeah.
We could get them, we teach them the Constitution.
We have like Glenn Beck playing in the background,
Yeah.
or like Dennis Prager, some of his stuff, educating them on the Constitution.
yeah. If they're well,
Like, we're in
again,
violation. We must go back.
and we
Like, by
talked
the time they
about
get
how
there.
the Department of Homeland Security right now, their main initiative is making sure they don't misgender or mispronoun anybody at the border. That's their main initiative. So what we'll do is we'll do conversion therapy on all the gay Hispanics that are coming across in the bus,
Which
and they'll
I gotta
get off
tell you
straight.
are not
I'm
very
about to
many.
say, I don't think it's gonna be a
Not
lot.
very
I
There's
think
not a lot. And
No.
that's the humor that I'm
Yeah.
finding in the
Yeah.
whole initiative.
Probably why these Catholics at the border, Catholic Mexicans at the border, they're getting asked their gender, and like these Americans are crazy.
I'm telling you, these people will find Jesus on the bus. The cartel members will be repenting. They'll be wanting to laser off their face tattoos. These are good ideas, man. Did you see where that? Everybody's seen it. The woman who was tasked with creating sex ed classes in Texas. They got rid of her because they found out she was a prostitute.
That might have been the one they should have left in sex ed. It sounds like she's well experienced.
Subject matter expert.
You know, for sure.
Subject matter expert. Oh yeah, they got rid of her.
Huh.
I think that was probably Sarah Gonzalez responsible for that. That
Yeah,
was
you
godly.
probably showed up at a school board and yelled about her or something.
And what's funny is that's godly Texas. That is rural south.
It's
of Fort
amazing
Worth.
what goes on in these schools. Back to what we were talking about earlier, in red districts. We had one of the most conservative counties in Georgia, had 3 of the total nut job school board members that 1776 PAC went after. And it's again because no one pays attention to some of these local things, and some of them have the most impact on your daily life. And I know Sarah's all over this stuff because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's unbelievable.
All right, we're going to do overtime. I want to keep these guys around. So Friday, you can tune in for overtime if you're a Blaze TV subscriber. We're going to talk some more. We're not done, though. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, guys, ultrarightbeer.com.
Ultrarightbeer.com.
That's the spot.
It's the best.
Yeah. And it is good beer.
It's the only beer I drink.
It's the only thing that's in my house. I won't allow anything else in my house.
It's the only 100% woke-free American beer.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag trademark.
I got another deal in the guy sent me called Freedom Water. I was like, tastes like water. But I'm all for parallel economy. Look them up.
Exactly.
Freedom 2.0 is what it is. Freedom Water.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
I love it.
Anyway, Seth Weathers, of course, Sarah Gonzalez. Hang tight. I'm going to see if I can stir these guys up in overtime. Come see me Friday night in Yorktown, Texas. I'll have the Ragamuffins with me. A little broken down acoustic show, so you'll have fun with that. And then next week, Little Rock, Arkansas. And then in St. Cloud, Florida. They tell me this kind of redneck over there, so that'll be my people. Anyway, watch Chad.com for all the fun stuff is. Don't forget to subscribe. BlazeTV.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. We will see you tomorrow. We love you. God bless you. Bye.